Boris on brink of unemployment. Most Tory MPs vote to kick Prime Minister after series of scandals at Christmas. Boris Johnson is facing a battle to stay on as Prime Minister as a dozen Tory MPs line up to remove him from power, according to reports. Up to 12 Tory MPs are understood to have submitted letters of no confidence in the Prime Minister. The government has come under severe pressure ever since shocking details emerged of a Christmas party in Downing Street last December. Mr Johnson is also facing a huge Tory rebellion in the Commons tomorrow as he looks to press ahead with tightening coronavirus restrictions. Christopher Hope, chief political correspondent, tweeted, "As many as 12 Tory MPs have submitted letters of no confidence in Boris Johnson, allies of the PM believe. But loyal Conservative MPs believe the situation can be turned around by appointing David Canzini to 10 Downing Street. Mr Canzini, a former director of campaigning at the Conservative Party, is thought to be in talks to become the Prime Minister's new chief advisor. Letters of no confidence are submitted to the chair of the influential 1922 Committee of Backbench Conservative MPs. Rules state at least 15% of Tory MPs must write a letter of no confidence for a vote on Mr Johnson's premiership to be held. As things stand, a total of 54 letters would need to be submitted to Sir Graham Brady MP. If the threshold is met, a vote would take place and Mr Johnson would need to secure backing of 181 Tory MPs. Should the Prime Minister fall short in any potential vote, then a leadership contest would be triggered and he would be barred from entering. Mr Johnson faces his next battle in the Commons on Tuesday as MPs vote on moving to Plan B COVID restrictions. The measures will pass as they have the backing of Labour, but all eyes will be on the size of the Tory rebellion. Reports suggest up to 70 Tory MPs could vote against the government. NHS COVID passes showing full vaccination or a recent negative test will be required for entry to indoor venues containing more than 500 people, unseated outdoor venues with more than 4,000 people, and any venue with more than 10,000 people, from Wednesday. Speaking this afternoon during a visit to a vaccination clinic in West London, Mr Johnson said his plans were balanced and proportionate. He said, "I think what everybody needs to recognise is a couple of things, that Omicron is a very serious risk to public health, and that it is spreading really fast and there's no room for complacency." Mr Johnson added, "And I hope that people will also understand, colleagues in Westminster and around the country, will also see that the measures we're putting in place are balanced and proportionate." Boris Johnson has told Tory rebels that coronavirus health certificates are a proportionate response to the threat of Omicron, as he faces the prospect of the biggest revolt of his leadership. The British Prime Minister said his plan B to tackle coronavirus this winter is necessary for public health, as about 75 Conservatives consider rebelling in today's vote. Tories are particularly opposed to making NHS COVID passes, displaying vaccine status or a negative lateral flow result, mandatory for entry to large venues such as nightclubs. The measures are expected to be approved with Labour's support, but that would be a significant blow to Mr Johnson's leadership, as he faces anger for allegedly rule-breaking parties in the run-up to Christmas last year. Westminster was on watch for the resignation of ministerial aides, with up to 10 parliamentary private secretaries reported to be preparing to quit in order to rebel against the plans. Speaking to broadcasters during a visit to a vaccination clinic near Paddington, in West London, Mr Johnson said, "I think what everybody needs to recognise is a couple of things, that Omicron is a very serious risk to public health, and that it is spreading really fast and there's no room for complacency."